Hollywood elites are trying to get rid of Cat Williams. Orlando Brown just revealed that Cat Williams might be getting cloned soon. And if you look at what Cat himself just said, everything starts to make sense. Cat Williams said no to $50 million and instead exposed.
Get in the car with Cat. He asked me to get in the car with him in his Rolls Royce, to be exact. And I was like, no, it's her birthday, I gotta go. Who knows what would have happened to me? Was that even Cat? It's the decisions that we make. It's who we choose to let in, bro. Just because somebody wearing that skin, that don't mean that's them, is what I'm saying to you. And they'll lure you in, and it's called infiltration, bro. They'll lure you in just to get close to you. They'll wear your mama's skin, bro. Your best friend's skin, bro, just to get close to you. As soon as you slip up, they got you. Dinosaurs are actually not extinct. That's what Cat knows. He knows the inner workings of how people turned into huge comedians. And I guess,
he says Kevin is an industry plant.
No, man, I mean, Kevin is a dinosaur. And I can't, I'm not gonna go back and forth with you. He's Frankie Lyman and, ooh, ah, ooh, ah.
He turned down $50 million 4 times
No, he didn't.
to protect his integrity and his virgin hole.
No, he did. He did that. He did that to say that Kevin Hart took $50 million to unvirgin his hole. Oh. Now he's acting all hard. Every picture, he's just short. He wasn't ready. All that. It's the same thing, man.
Last year, during an appearance on Club Sha Sha, Cat Williams described Diddy as the main force behind what goes on in Hollywood and claimed that celebrities who refuse to follow the wishes of powerful elites end up being replaced. And he went further by saying that human cloning has secretly been taking place for years, while suggesting that some of the biggest stars in the industry are not actually who people believe them to be. And he also warned his audience that his time might be running out because
infiltrate the Illuminati, find out what the fuck they got going on, get the information, run back to y'all, tell y'all everything I know. That's my motherfucking job. But I don't know how many more times I'm gonna be able to sneak in there. Thanks to Shannon Sharp and 90 million views, I can't sneak very often. So while I was in there this last time, knowing that my last report might be my last report, I went in there and I got information for everybody. Look at my white friends. Us too? That's right, white secrets.
Fans are now revisiting comments Cat made over the past year, and when everything is pieced together, what Orlando Brown said about him starts to feel like it lines up in a way that makes sense, as Cat was someone who could not be controlled by money and never seemed to care about being blackballed by the industry. And he first hinted at the idea of celebrities being cloned during one of his comedy specials, where he claimed that Jamie Foxx had been cloned, which caught even more attention.
Televised his funeral, he ain't even dead. He was just up there. Let me be specific. Anything I say tonight is allegedly. I don't know shit, I just be up here talking. I love Jamie Foxx, let me say that. I love Jamie Foxx. But his motherfucking clone, his clone ain't shit. His clone kept on messing up. The clone showed up with a face full of freckles. We ain't never even seen Jamie Foxx with freckles, bitch. This clone is stupid as hell. The clone didn't even have a tattoo on the back of his head. I couldn't believe it. I watched the whole thing twice. I still don't know what had happened was. That nigga started the story with, and somebody gave me an aspirin, and 21 days later, wait a minute, what? That sounds like somebody gave you a dick. You got to be more specific, sir.
Cat Williams went on to claim that Jamie Foxx had been cloned, but according to him, the supposed double kept making noticeable mistakes that gave things away, as he pointed out that this version had far more freckles than the real Jamie ever did and was also missing a tattoo on the back of his head, which he insisted was another clear difference. And he wrapped up this.
Y'all motherfuckers, I was a clone. You motherfuckers thought I was a clone. Listen, I was having dinner at some eatery in Vegas, and I walk out, and my daughter's behind me, and she overheard the dude go, "That ain't that nigga. That's a clone, nigga. He got that nigga. That's a clone. That ain't Jamie Foxx. Look at that nigga, man. That ain't him." But I gotta tell you this, Atlanta, you can't clone this. I brought you too much original shit. It ain't enough clone juice in the world to clone me. I brought you this. Hey, for real though, I'll rock your world.
Cat later explained his comments more clearly and stood firm on his belief that Hollywood was secretly getting.
In order for the type of ratings we need and attention to be on this thing. See, what I'm saying is, in business, nothing is coincidental, or you would be hearing who's losing money. In all of these situations, it's only the artist that's losing. Somebody makes big money. When these rappers get killed, not incidental. Somebody made $100 million and now don't have to talk to that artist or none of their crew, don't have to validate none of their contracts. Now only got to deal with the mama, only got to see her once a year, and it's over. And the money goes up and up and up. So they killed this $20 million guy, but they reaped $60 million in benefits.
Wow.
And they had some people from your city do it.
Wow.
I'm saying there's the good side and the bad side of these businesses.
But think about what you just think about what you just said. That's extremely thoughtful and powerful.
This was not the first time that powerful figures were believed to have targeted Cat Williams either, as he has reportedly been arrested 17 different times without ever being convicted. And according to the narrative, it seemed that whenever he started speaking out, those arrests would happen even when he was said to be completely innocent. And during those same moments, his children would be...
No, this is their 9th time coming to my house. The problem was this time they came to my office and took my kids from an office. Not from my house, from an office. So now when I can't have my kids at my office...
That's an issue.
I must be the
definitely.
most terrible black dude. Because here's the whole thing. You're gonna charge me with child endangerment? After I adopted 7 children and had them for 14 years in this state? Really? You coming after my kids now? Because it was already a witch hunt. Now you want my babies? Yikes.
When Hollywood figures realized they could not control Cat Williams through money or intimidation, the story claims they shifted to trying to lure him into compliance, as Cat alleged that Harvey Weinstein once offered him access to any female celebrity in Hollywood if he agreed to go along with what was being asked of him. But Cat said that whenever these kinds of offers were put in front of him, he chose to turn away and leave everything at first. But supporters of the theory argue that similar patterns have shown up repeatedly, pointing to names like Sean Combs, Kanye West, and Jim Carrey as examples from both Hollywood and the music industry, claiming at this point, the idea of human cloning in Hollywood is being talked about so openly by some people that they claim it is no longer even hidden, with arguments that cloning is already being explored on a commercial level. And adding to that, there have been reports connected to Jeffrey Epstein suggesting he had a space on his island.
Right.
Right. This is all part of
You could do that shit in a test tube for your kid. Why wouldn't you do it? That's what I think they're going to start off with normal stuff.
It all starts off as normal stuff because it's abnormal. So the first thing you're doing is, okay, so we're in charge of, like, how could you not?
How could you not?
Is more the question to be had. And that's why in that profession, they're allowed to do certain things and then tell you they're not going to do it no more.
Yes.
That's a key component to it.
We're not going to do that anymore, Kat. We changed our mind. Yeah, if they're telling you that there's no clones, the guy telling you is probably a clone. At this point, I have no doubt that they've made human clones. They've made dog clones. You can get your dog cloned. If your dog's going to die, you can get the...
And that is why he claimed he started speaking out about what he believed he had seen and experienced, at least according to these accounts. while Orlando Brown allegedly began to notice that Cat Williams was not acting like himself and was suddenly getting close to the same individuals he had been calling out just months earlier, including
what was done to Cat to make him do that. There's a lot of people that have no respect for the game of comedy. And there's a lot of people that, before I go deeper, I will say that it's none of my business, the personal relationships and all the stuff that was talked about. So I'm not going to talk about that. But I will talk about what I've experienced. And what I've experienced is sitting in front of Cat Williams at his own house, $3 million mansion in Malibu. And this man told Torrey Hart exactly what Kevin Hart did in order to be where he's at. Now, I don't know if it was Kevin that pissed him off. I don't know who it was that pissed him off. But I do understand that the comedy world is nothing to play with. And since, Richard Pryor left us, God rest his soul, it's more like, everybody's trying to be Richard Pryor, and I can't put myself in position to not understand why some people just don't have the kind of respect for Cat that they should have. I will also say that a lot of people know that he knows that he's helped them in a major way. Huge ways. Silently. For no recognition or none of that. It's just being, who he is as a person.
After everything that had supposedly gone on involving Kevin Hart, it did not seem logical for him to suddenly be on friendly terms with Cat Williams. Yet that was exactly what Orlando Brown claimed to have witnessed. And he further alleged that this version of Cat even tried to invite him to join them. But Orlando said he refused the offer, and based on his perspective, Orlando believed that Kevin Hart had somehow...
Kevin been pissing off a lot of people, comedically. You know what I'm saying? And I think that instead of trying to bash somebody that knows what they're talking about and bash somebody that has respect in the comedy world, I think that they need to look deeper into why is he letting this information go? Why is this information just now being released? Why? I mean, come on. Why does his chain look bigger than any rappers that I've ever seen rap? Why, out of all the comedians, does he still have a $3 million mansion in Malibu? Why, out of every single comedian, does he still get picked on? But still looks like he's getting a check for nothing, just to sit on his couch, and everybody else look like, they're has-beens. I'm just saying, I did agree with a couple of things that was said by Aries Spears. I understand, we do love drama as a nation, as a population of people, the human race, whatever the case may be, blase, yes. But my main thing is, why are you saying this? And then at the end of your rant, you sound like you're kind of jealous and you're kind of mad. You sound like you got some things going on that you don't want people to know about. There's skeletons in your closet. Skeletons in Cedric's closet. There's skeletons in Jamie's closet. Skeletons in everybody's closet that Cat knows about. Who pissed him off? And don't just think, that's my question to you. Who pissed him off? Who do you think pissed him off?
Well, it would seem as if a lot of people pissed him off.
No, it was only one person, and they have a clan of people behind him. Yeah. It was Kevin. So, at the end of the day, I'm just gonna keep it real with you.
Bow Wow also appeared to support what Orlando Brown had been saying, explaining that even though Orlando might come across as unpredictable at times, he is actually one of the smartest and most talented individuals in Hollywood. And he added that Orlando had been...
Orlando Brown, when he mentioned that you guys had a relationship. He it's like, bro, come on now.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, that dude is hilarious. He's hilarious.
But people believe that though. Wow.
If they believe that something wrong with them, they crazy as hell. they done drunk 2 shades straight. Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. that dude is smart and he know what he doing.
Right.
He ain't no fool. Okay. He ain't no fool. I seen an interview where he said, people pay me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And when I get the bag, however much the money is determines,
what
am I gonna be crazy? Because I can be Orlando and we can have a casual conversation, we can talk. I always thought he was talented. Always thought he was talented.
He would not be the first person said to go through something like this, as supporters of the idea claim they have seen similar situations play out before, pointing to Kanye West as an example, saying that just last year he began acting and even looking very different from how people were used to seeing him. And they also reference a statement he made before stepping away from the public eye where he said that if
a clone. I wholeheartedly believe what I'm about to say. I think there are clones, and I'm going to tell you why. Remember, he was really talking a lot. The cabal didn't like that, you know? The Illuminati, the cabal, they did not like how much he was saying. He was calling a lot of people out, and he said, if I go away and I come back and I look different, that is not me.
If I ever went anywhere, we know why.
What the happened? He was gone.
Well, he did that because he wanted to gain weight. I would do that too. I'm going to do that next summer.
Look at him. Compare old photos of him. It's not the same person. It's not. Don't cancel me, Hollywood.
How do you think that these people would hide that, Kristen? If somebody tried to clone you, I would scream it from the top of the mountains like that's not Kristen.
You literally will get killed.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I believe this with every ounce in my body.
You think that you could make one of the biggest pop stars in the world just disappear and nobody would come forward?
The people who are going to come out and say something get killed.
There's weird shit happening, but some of it's too far.
Last year, Cat Williams even claimed to reveal who he believed was behind supplying clones to powerful figures in Hollywood, naming Sean Combs, Harvey Weinstein, and Jeffrey Epstein as the individuals he said were involved. And according to his statement, these three figures were influencing the direction of the industry while deciding who would be replaced. And he also said publicly that anyone who wants to succeed in Hollywood has to...
Everybody is a supplier. Epstein, Weinstein, like these guys knew what these extremists liked and provided it, and provided the way for you to to have $1 billion and not create a fantasy island type environment has not existed throughout history.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if I was going to run some global power organization, I would try to co-opt every single leader, try to suck them in, offer support, bring them out to wherever the I have my big-ass meetings, fly everybody in private jets, talk about the climate crisis.
All organizations have to follow the same rules.
Yeah, that's wild.
Recruitment is an important facet of all.
We have to get some young global leaders.
Well, understand, this is the only reason that we can talk about these big Illuminati-like entities at this period of time. It's just because of time. Like, they aged out. Like, you can't get in new, so everybody got decrepit over there.
According to this narrative, there is believed to be even more profit in replacing celebrities than simply controlling them, with names like Kanye West, Britney Spears, and Sean Combs being pointed out as some of the biggest figures in the...
If you put any other names together, the police are out on stage, they've cut to commercial, you didn't see what happened. By the time they come out, people have been removed, it goes on. It's certain ways things are handled when it's not intentional. When things go smoothly, but they seem chaotic, that means there was forethought and a plan. Somebody, even if it looks like, yeah, Janet Jackson just had a wardrobe malfunction. Yeah, there's no such thing.
Correct.
I don't care who you blaming.
I believe that. I believe that.
Somebody benefited. Yeah. So in all of these situations, there's a business involved and there's real money involved, and somebody's benefiting from this thing that looks like, oh, that just happened. Nah, no way. No way.
The theory even extends to claims that Britney Spears was replaced by a clone after being released from her conservatorship, with supporters arguing that before that period she came across as smart, educated, and well-spoken. But after her return, they feel it seems like she is damaging her own image. And adding to this discussion, Kristen Cavallari, who had already suggested that Kanye West might be a clone, also raised similar speculation about Britney.
I'm obviously onto something. I'm onto something.
Kristen Cavallari later tried to clarify the comments she had made about Britney Spears, as the former The Hills star had recently said on her Let's Be Honest podcast that she believed the singer of Lucky.
Kristen reveals on her November 5th episode of her podcast she received an interesting request.
I get a call from my publicist. Okay, so he calls me and he goes, guess who wants your phone number? And I went, who? Britney Spears. And I'm going, what? I'm not gonna lie though, at first you guys, because okay, if you didn't listen to the last episode Justin and I did, go listen. But we talked about Hollywood conspiracies and I said, my big thing was Kanye West, I think, is a clone, but also I said Britney is not Britney.
The 37-year-old who had previously met Britney Spears during her Las Vegas residency in 2014 went on to explain that she felt the pop icon had become aware of the comment.
My initial reaction was, I was scared. I'm not gonna lie. I was honestly like, oh my God.
Like you thought it was the Illuminati or the cabal?
Like they're on to me, man, okay? They didn't like that podcast episode. So I'm like, give her my number. Like, great.
She described the situation by saying it felt like something out of an Illuminati-type scenario.
Her manager puts us on a group chat and says like, oh, ladies, like, or he called us icons. But
gotta get that
two
in there.
icons coming together, blah, blah, blah. And then Brittany sent me a text and I'm not going to read it. I would love to read it. Just take my word.
Why
on
would you
that.
love to read it? Because I know why you would love to read it.
It was a bit of a roller coaster.
And it was like, no, that's Britney Spears. Nobody can fake that. That's not, or it's the Britney Spears that's put out to us right now. Because it was
Or
like
it's
one
her
big run-on
clone.
sentence.
Or it's her clone. Her clone let me know that she's not a clone. That's a red flag. Only a clone would say something like that.
Around the 25-minute mark, some investigative journalists began claiming that Jeffrey Epstein was the one who funded the research that supposedly led to Britney Spears being replaced. And the narrative
possibly fund research that cloned Britney Spears. So apparently with a high quality donor egg, a bit of skin, some tending in a lab, and the willing womb of a surrogate, we can clone ourselves. And Epstein was obviously curious about this because, well, I pulled this from the Epstein files, thanks to my good buddy Webb. That definitely makes more sense as to why he had this weird baby farm going on at the Zorro Ranch. And he was keeping all these girls around so that he could impregnate them. And it kind of makes me wonder if he was trying to clone himself. Plus, he had tons of sperm in a sperm bank, and he had girls all over the world sending in their eggs to be frozen. Who knows why? Maybe for cloning. And apparently he also had a pretty intense interest in not only eugenics, but cryogenics. He also wanted the head of his member and his head to be frozen. And man, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right, but this music video for Break the Ice by Britney Spears definitely looks like she's running through a cryogenic cloning laboratory and then proceeds to blow up.
Whether there is any truth to these claims, or if they are simply adding more attention to one of Hollywood's most extreme theories, one thing that stands out is that Cat Williams has been speaking out about the industry for years. And now more people are starting to question everything connected to him. From Jamie Foxx to Kanye West, and even the figures linked to Sean Combs, Jeffrey Epstein, and Harvey Weinstein. As these stories seem to grow darker, the deeper people look into them. So the question now is what you think about it all. Whether Orlando Brown is telling the truth, or if this is just another Hollywood